Hey YouTube, Lizzie B here. If you hear any sounds, that's my hubby in the background. He's on the computer.
Hi.
So, I have heard about a lot about this whole Nina Simone biopic starring Zoe Saldana, and I wasn't for it from the get-go, but the trailer has been released and I'm going to watch it. So, join me while I watch this trailer, and then I'm going to give you some thoughts on it. Black is the color.
Everyone thinks that you are crazy.
What does that have to do with play music?
Okay, so short analysis, the trailer is terrible. It looks like it's going to be a bad movie. My thoughts on the whole situation is this. Netflix gave this Nina Simone biopic the perfect lead-in with What Happened, Miss Simone. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a really, really, really great documentary. Everybody I know has seen it and is talking about it. People that don't even know about her music now know about her music. And that's what made it such a great setup for this movie, is that this documentary introduced a new generation to Nina Simone, and they set it up and so that we know what she looked like, what she stood for, what her songs were about, and then this movie went and messed it all up. That's shocking to me, especially as someone who works in entertainment. The best thing that you can hope for in life is that somebody can set your movie up with an audience before. I mean, it's great for pitching. You can tell people, hey, look, like, I already got an audience for this, and the world is waiting for this movie. So they botched that up. So here's my next point. In context, if you can act, you don't need makeup and prosthetics. That I'm saying in context because context always matters. Take Hamilton, for example. The whole cast was played by people of color. Latino, Black, and Asians were playing historical white characters, our country's founding fathers. And they did this in order to make the founding fathers relatable, and we get a chance to see their humanity without the baggage of seeing race. Did it work? Absolutely. Hamilton is the best musical I've ever seen in my life, and it did exactly what it set out to do, using the fact that the actors didn't look like the characters they were playing as a tool to engage the audience as opposed to confuse them. So that was the context. But with this, there really is no context as to why they would choose someone who looks the opposite of Nina Simone. So besides this, there are a number of actors who portray characters that they don't look like. It's not really necessary to look identical to the person you're portraying, as long as your acting is on point and your looks aren't so distracting that it takes away from who the character represents themselves to be, which is exactly what's wrong with this movie. Anybody who knows anything about Nina Simone knows that she's dark-skinned with strong features and nappy afro textured hair, and she's very proud of these things. So to cast someone who is the physical opposite of Nina Simone is such a bad move, because the cosmetic lengths that one would have to go to get us to actually believe this character hijacks the spirit of Black self-acceptance and non-traditional beauty that Nina Simone represented in the first place. Maybe Zoe felt like she could flex her acting skills to embody this role, kind of like Charlize Theron did with Monster. But Monster didn't have the context that this movie has, and Charlize was already white, so there was no need for black or white face, which is always kind of a touchy territory because makeup to make oneself like a different color category is really hard to get right on film. So it makes it unnecessary if you can avoid it. Side note, I saw a terrible movie where Flex Alexander played Michael Jackson, and I wanted to scratch my eyeballs out. That's how bad it was. Makeup is so important, and clearly on this movie they got it wrong. They got the makeup wrong and they got the prosthetics wrong. One thing I keep hearing a lot about is Malcolm X movie. Denzel Washington played Malcolm X. And I keep hearing people say, oh, well, Denzel's not as light as Malcolm X was. But he didn't have to be, because he embodied the man's spirit and he looked close enough for us to not be distracted. If he was wearing a prosthetic nose and Mac Studio Fix SPF 15, I'm sure we wouldn't be looking at the movie the same. From the trailer alone, it looks like the movie is going to be about a crazy woman. The fact that they show Nina as nothing more than a moody, angry has-been makes me really sad, and it makes me confused. I had a teacher that asked if people of color were in positions to be able to greenlight films, would we see a change in the kinds of movies that are being made? My answer is absolutely. I think that this movie would have never casted Zoe Saldana. I'm not going to say it would have never been made, but I will say that they would have never casted Zoe Saldana if there were more black people involved in this film. I have no idea how David Oyelowo got caught up in this. That's my thoughts on this trailer. I'm not planning to spend any of my coins on this movie whatsoever. What say you? Leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.